Hello everyone, welcome back. I want to talk to you guys today about how I train people for using a shotgun for home defense, okay? And I have a special method. Now, this basically is at the point where I've already gone through the basics with them. You know, they're already somewhat experienced shooters, okay? They've already done, some trap shooting with the clay discs. So we're at the point where we're actually, we've been talking about self-defense. This is not with a brand new shooter that just came with his brand new shotgun that he just bought. So what I'll do is I'll basically say, okay, set your shotgun up the way you would normally keep it inside your house, okay? So they'll set it up, and at that point I'll distract them, get me some more ammo or whatever. When they come back, I'm going to say, okay, listen, I'm going to start throwing these clay discs into the air, start shooting them, okay? And the guy's like, wait, what? I don't even have my eyes and ears on. Well, I'm like, get them on and start shooting. You got somebody breaking into your house. You better do all that stuff really fast. So while they're fumbling, trying to get their eyes and ears on, I'm continuing to throw discs into the air. By the time I'm up to my fifth disc, they got their eyes and ears on. They got the pump shotgun. Right? They go to shoot it, and basically the gun's not working for one reason or another, okay? And very typical, they either forgot to take the safety off, or they forgot to pump a round into the chamber, okay? So it doesn't stop there. Basically, I keep throwing discs into the air. I usually get another 5 out there before they figure out what they have to do with their shotgun to get it to work, okay? And at that point, basically at that point they start shooting at discs. They shoot their 5 or 6 rounds, whatever they have in the shotgun. And at that point, they're done and they sit there, and I'm still shooting discs into the air. And I'm like, listen, bad guys are still busting into your house. They're shooting at you. And he's like, well, listen, I don't have any more shells. And I'm like, well, you got a problem. All right. So at that point, I stop throwing the clay discs up, and we have a conversation, and I've made my point, or one of my many points. One of which is, if you're going to be using a shotgun, a pump shotgun for home defense, you better have the ability to reload this, okay? So the saddles that sit on the gun, they hold like an extra 5 shells. That's probably not even going to be enough. Get one of these bandoliers. When you pick up your shotgun, grab this, throw it around your neck. This and this go together, okay? So that's one of the points I've made. The other point that I've made is that the shotgun is very difficult to use under stressful situations, okay? You got situations where people forgetting to take the safety on or off. You got situations where people forgetting to, pump rounds into the chamber. Very common, once people get that first round off, when they pump it, right, they don't pump it hard enough to eject the empty shell and chamber the next round. So they will start jamming the gun up while in between their shots. Now, in many cases, these are even experienced shooters, people that have shot competitive skeet, competitive trap, people who in prior sessions that even if they're relatively new, in prior sessions that I've done with them, right, where I've assessed their skill, because typically I'll meet up with them. A lot of these people, they shoot on their properties. I'll meet up with them, and I'll do an initial consultation where I kind of see what level they're at. And in many cases, they're really good shooters. They know how to operate the gun. But when I put them under the situation that I just described before, where I basically surprise them, I just start throwing trap into the air, and they're really not ready for it. All of a sudden I've added all this extra stress, and they're not prepared, and they start choking. They're not taking the gun off safe, not chambering rounds, not pumping hard enough. They're completely fouling up the shotgun. They're not able to use it, despite the fact that they've been able to use it competently in the past. Okay, so at that point, it's time for us to have a discussion about if the shotgun was really the best choice for home defense. Okay, is this the best choice is this the best gun to be using under a stressful situation? And I'll explain to them. Listen, you use your key to get into your house every day. You're able to operate the key and your lock on your door. However, at night, when it's dark and if you're in a hurry and maybe you're a little nervous or whatever, you can see how difficult it can be to operate that key under stressful circumstances. Okay. Now, I understand that a lot of people out there, and I've trained them. There's a lot of people I've trained specifically from New York City where the shotgun is really the easiest gun it is for them to get. Okay, there's a lot of hoops they gotta jump through to get handguns. Any rifles that they can get of really low capacity. So the shotgun is really the only choice for them, and that's understandable. If that's the situation, I will definitely work with the person to make them the best that I can, so that they can use the shotgun, competently under stressful circumstances. But the fact remains that there are other guns out there, semi-automatic handguns, semi-automatic, rifles that are a lot easier to use under stressful circumstances. Okay, and like I said, I've seen this not just with beginners, but with competitive shooters. Okay, once you take them out of the environment that they're used to, that they're comfortable in, that they've been training in, and you put them into a different environment, all of a sudden, all those things that they've been doing are not so easy to do anymore. So that's the experience that I've seen with shotgun shooters. Okay, now I do like using a shotgun as a training tool. Okay, specifically, like this semi-automatic Lynx 12. Okay. For my AR and my AK guys, right? Who I'm training to use that gun for home defense. Okay, at some point I will bring this out and I will have them shoot clay discs. And the reason is because this gun is similar. It's very similar to an AK-47. Okay, and it's somewhat similar to an AR-15. The only difference is that you gotta get used to working the safety lever and you gotta get used to rocking the magazine in and out. But with this gun, I can train my AK guys and my AR-15 guys to shoot at moving targets under the time constraints, right? Because when that clay disc goes into the air, they have a very limited amount of time to shoot it, so it puts a different type of stress on them. And since they're they're not used to doing something like this, they will get better at shooting the ARs and the AKs by shooting this gun. Okay, so I do believe in training with shotguns. Okay? I think it is a great training tool, and yes, it can be used for home defense. It's just that I don't think that it is necessarily the best choice because, for one thing, you have a very limited capacity. I mean, you've got 5 rounds in the tube. Most revolvers hold 6 rounds. Okay, now a lot of people say, well, you got 5 rounds in the tube plus 1 in the chamber. But here's the thing: if you put 1 in the chamber, okay, you put the safety on, right? Because you have to at that point. That safety blocks the trigger, okay, not the firing pin. The shotgun is not drop safe. Okay, you put you put it around the chamber, put the safety on. If you drop this, it can go off. Okay, not that it will, but it can go off. It's not. This safety is not like the safety on an AR or an AK that actually drops. Actually blocks the hammer from going forwards. This stops the trigger from being pulled. So there's a difference there. So for that reason, when I advise people on how to, if they're going to use this gun for home defense, I advise them to, first of all, right now, here's another complication. Because the firing pin is in the rear position, this will not open up. So now I have to hit this little lever over here to open it up, okay? The issue now is that, if I wanted to feed a round directly into the chamber, yeah, great. But what if I want to put it into the tube? If I just slide this forward, all of a sudden, that firing pin is still in the rear position. I can't pump that round in. So really my only option here is that, once I open this up, I kind of have to point this in a safe direction and dry fire this. Take that safety off, dry fire this. Okay. At that point, I will load I advise people to load the 5 rounds in here. Okay. And now basically the firing pin is forward. And this will basically, when you pick this up, this is ready to pump. Okay. So that's one of the things you have to be aware of. You have to make sure that that firing pin is in the forward position. Otherwise, when you pick this up, like right now the firing pin's in the rear position, this won't pump. And if that's how I start this gun, I won't easily be able to get a round in the chamber. I'm now forced to look for this release button in order to pump my round. Okay. So that's one of the things I make, I make sure people are aware of as far as how they store the gun. It's typically referred to as cruiser ready. Okay, that's where you load your tube up, keep your chamber empty, and keep the gun, in the position where you can easily pump it, put that round in there. The other thing I will typically advise people, okay, if you run out of rounds in the middle of a gunfight, do not try and reload the gun from back here, okay? Because you will drop rounds, okay? Even somebody like me that does this all the time, under stressful conditions, I will drop rounds. What I will do is after I'm finished firing my 5 rounds, what I'll do is I'll open this up, I'll take a shell out, feed it straight through the ejection port, come up, okay, and there you go. There's an example. Sometimes they don't want to come out. Throw the next one in, come up. Okay, so that's how you reload the shotgun in the middle of a gunfight, right? And you're going to keep doing that continuously until the gunfight is over. Don't start trying to put stuff in here. I mean, you're just going to drop stuff. During the lull, when things stop, when the shooting stops, that's when, you bring it up here. Keep your eyes up there. You're behind cover. That's when you can try and top off your, fill up your tube. That's the time when you start to fill up your tube. Right? You don't try and fill up your tube while somebody's shooting at you. At that point, you just open up your ejection port, quickly feed the rounds through there. Okay? That's how that works. Okay. So there are my thoughts on the shotgun, and it's, and how I train people for using it for home defense. I make them aware of the worst case scenarios, by putting them under a stressful condition, right? Having them try to shoot these clay discs, which are basically, flying through the air, and they have a limited amount of time to shoot them. And I make them see how difficult it is to use it under those circumstances, and then we explore other possibilities that might be easier for them. Okay, and the idea here is that when your life is in danger, or the life of your family is in danger, right? That's not the time to challenge yourself. You don't want to look for the most difficult firearm to use. You want to look for the easiest firearm that will protect you and your family. Post some comments. I'll talk to you guys next time.